What's up, guys? I'm Tinashe Moyo, and welcome to another episode of Stride. On this channel, my goal is to inspire people to take the first step towards their goals in life using my personal experiences. And today, we have another special guest in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to welcome Deon Kearns, also known as Booker T.
Oh, wow. Hey, I thought that was your nickname. I'll just run with it.
It's actually yours. It suits you better than it does
Really?
to me.
But I don't have dreadlocks, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. I got no dreadlocks. Maybe I should hopefully grow some. I don't know. Maybe it's too late.
You once did, though.
Oh, okay. Let's not go there.
Otherwise, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. How's everything going?
Everything is good. Great to have you on the podcast.
It's great to be here. I'm just so excited to be here as well.
I can tell. I
Yeah.
tell. I mean, like the kind of
100%.
energy that you have.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I think without wasting much of our time, I think we just gotta let the audience know who the hell you are.
Who the hell am I? Wow.
Yes.
All right. Hi, audience. How are you doing? Yeah, my name is Deon Kearns. Deon Odell Kearns. That's my full name. Yeah. I'm a graphic designer and yeah, I'm 29 years old and it's just been a crazy life. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I love creativity. I love food. I love eating. Yeah. That is number one. If I'm not eating, I'm not happy. Yeah, if you don't have food, I had to make sure that Tinashe had to bring me here with food first. I had to convince him first to give me food. That was the only way I could come here. But yeah, I love food. And as of recent, I have a very big passion for sports. Yeah. Believe it or not, I love rugby. I'm a really big rugby fan, and I like contact sports for the most part. I like mixed martial arts, the UFC. Yeah, and I also enjoy, bike riding and things like that. So it's just discovering myself as I go and as I grow and just living life and appreciating every moment. So that's just the kind of person I am. I'm a free spirit. I also love memes for some weird reason. Like, I'm a certified meme lord, but yeah, a retired meme lord. And that's just basically it. That's just Deon in a nutshell. Yeah. The rest of about me, you just figure it out as the interview goes on.
Okay. That was decent.
Yeah, sure. I guess so. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm a huge WWE fan as well. Like, I'm a pro wrestling fan as well. Like I said, I love contact sports. No, you can call it WWE sports. It's sports entertainment, right? Sports is entertainment. Yeah, sports entertainment. Yeah, that's also one of my favorite things to watch as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you're just like me in terms of love for WWE.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it is just like that, I mean, it's the athleticism. Like, we all know it's scripted, but the fact that, they can perform such high-flying maneuvers without any stunt doubles or without anybody to assist them and in front of a live audience on live cameras, I love it. Sometimes I do feel some of the storylines can be a bit cheesy at times, like Katie Vick.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of the storylines can be a bit cheesy at times, but some of the storylines are incredible. Depends on what the writers are dealing with. But I think the execution, the athleticism of the superstars is just really, really amazing beyond measure. And it's pretty much underrated, yeah. I guess, yeah. So, like I said, I'm a sports fan, contact sports, rugby, UFC, and everything like that. I think, yeah. And art, design, animation, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. It's like you're full of so many things.
A lot. I don't even know where to start. Like, it's just too much, It's just a whole lot of stuff. I might devour the whole podcast here. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but that's good.
Yeah.
I think particularly you're so much, you're so full of energy.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. I think it's the Red Bull I had before I came here. Yeah.
I'm pretty. You should probably channel that energy to contact sports, I guess.
Oh, we watch, but we don't play. Yeah. Oh no.
Now that seems like a waste. It actually seems like a waste.
CTE is real, bro. CTE is real. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So, anyways, moving forward, I mean, growing up, was there any person or moment that shaped your ambitions?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people who shaped my ambition, but I think number one on top of everyone was my dad.
Okay.
So growing up, I was the youngest of three children. Yeah, I have an older brother and a sister, and my mom and my dad as well. And my parents, well, they're bankers, and yeah, we used to live in Glenview over there, and it was just those were the most earliest memories of life, So I used to just it was great in the sense that living in Glenview, I could go out like as a kid, from the time I think I could develop memory from the age of 2 or 3. I have flashes, like minor flashbacks of the kids that I grew up playing with. I would get a chance to socialize and, interact with other children and play with other children. These are things that are very vital for child growth and development because it helps you out as much as an adult. But then, yeah, as part of my parents, as they grew in their careers, they also felt like we needed to move to a better neighborhood, or maybe a neighborhood that they felt like would be great, less busy,
Okay.
and be great for raising children. So that's when I moved to where I stay here in Waterfalls. And yeah, and that's where I grew up. I've been living there since, I was born in 1995, by the way. Yeah, so I started living in Waterfalls in 1999, Houghton Park to be specific. And I've been living there ever since I was 4. So it was a huge change. I think it affected my brother and sister a lot because, they didn't really it wasn't as outward as living in Glenview was,
Okay.
There was a lot of kids in the area when you're in Glenview. There's a lot of people to play with. You're riding your bike. There's someone who can fix it when you break it. There's just, little cars, made out of wires, and kids being creative, catching birds. I see a lot of stuff, marbles and everything, like so many amazing things. But when I moved to Houghton Park, you didn't see any of that at all. It was just quiet. Everybody was minding their own business. It was a medium density area, but for the most part, it's very sparsely populated. It's more for community, and everybody's reserved. Kids stay indoors, and there was just nothing else. So it affected my brother and sister the most because they're more used to the hustle and bustle of the streets of Glenview. And for me now as a kid, I could tell there was a difference, but I think I adjusted quicker. So now, as good as it was very safe. That's one thing, yeah. You don't have kids running around the streets and, you have a high chance of having kids run over by a car and all that other stuff. So many dangers can happen. But due to the fact that it's a closed community, you know where your kid is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell if they're not around and, you can feel that something's off. If they get injured or something, you can tell because it's a quiet community. So now, the downside to that was that being the youngest of 3 children, my brother and sister were already going to school by the time I was born, and my mom and dad were always at work at the time, so I would stay with the lady who used to look after me, the nanny. So sometimes, she was great, she was very amazing to me, but also sometimes just to get her work done, she would just, switch on the TV to keep me distracted, so that I don't follow her around and everything like that. But she was lovely though. So my dad used to buy little animated cartoons that I would watch as a kid, on VHS. He would bring all kinds of cool stuff like Tarzan, the Disney movies. You had Tarzan, you had Goofy movie, like Goofy and Max, you had Mickey Mouse, you had all kinds of stuff that he used to just buy me. He used to buy me a whole lot of stuff. So, my dad used to just he used to just get me stuff, and he used to really look after us as a family, completely, and he's one of the people that really motivated me, because when I looked at him, I was like, wow, I remember being 9 years old and be like, I want to be like this guy one day when I grow up, and be able to, have a family and just be able to look after them the way he did, because growing up, I don't think there's anything that I lacked, because yeah, my mom and dad were very hands-on, but I admire my dad so much from a male perspective, because I'll be like, he's a guy just like me, but he's able to do all these things. So why can't I do that?
Yeah.
So, which is the reason why I don't have kids right now, because he set a really high bar, and I'd be like, yeah, I need to really grow up first, and so that I can hopefully become that type of person, just look after my family if I'm fortunate enough to have kids in the future. Yeah, so he's one of the people that motivated me. He was very creative, and he always had time for me, no matter how busy he was. He's the type of guy who didn't mind playing with my brother and sister, and put a Monopoly board there
Yeah.
and roll the dice with us. Not a lot of people do that, like,
True.
So, he's the type of guy who'd like play with you, with your toys, and watch cartoons with you. And right now, I like animation, but there's certain things I can't watch. I'll be like, I can't. Like, do you ever watch Cocomelon? I got a little kid in my house that a little cousin. She comes and she watches Cocomelon. I'm like, boy, I can't watch this. Then I would think that my dad used to watch Barney and Friends with me.
Probably.
So I'd be like, yeah, I would have to do this. Like, so it's one of the people that I admire, and hopefully maybe I could just be like him sometime.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that answers your first question. Yeah.
It really does. It really does. True. And especially the idea of at least there's one true actual person you took so much inspiration from, because it's I think it's quite different when it comes to other people who get to take inspiration from other things, or even characters from TV.
Yeah.
But then you then get to realize that these characters that we watch on TV are just temporary characters.
Yeah.
Once the show goes off, they're a completely different person. Whereas with your dad, like, you can actually see him on a day-to-day basis. You get to understand what he goes through, what he thinks, and all of that. So, yeah, I think it's something that's really,
I guess
amazing. Yeah, because especially when it comes to time, I think that's what actually hit me the most. Like, finding time to play with you guys.
With us guys.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but continue. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So I'm always thinking of, I think, something in my own sense.
Yeah.
Like, we've got this podcast, the agency with Paddy. Those things, like, you tend to get so busy, is such that you forget about certain things, especially time with family. So you have to be self-aware of certain things. So I really commend your dad for having to watch even Barney and Friends with with the kids. It's something that's kind of weird for an older person, but it does something special for
the kids. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So school now. I think primary and high school. I think high school can be, or rather, school in general can just be a time of discovery. What were you like back then in school, and what were some of your favorite things to do?
I'm just gonna be honest with you. I was a nerd and a loser when I was in school. Yeah, let's just cut to the chase here. Okay. So, anyways, but I loved my experiences in school. Like, I didn't like being at school when I was a kid, but when I'm an adult now, there's so many things that I'm remembering. Like, I think when that teacher was saying this, he meant this and that.
Yeah.
Or when they said this or said that, I think this was what they meant. So school was a wild ride. It wasn't easy. It was difficult, but also amazing at the same time. Like, spectacular. Yeah, if I'm to be 100% honest with you. So I remember when I started school. Like, where do you want me to start? Like, kindergarten or something like that?
Sure, if you remember most of the stuff.
Yeah, I do have I remember a lot. So I remember when I started kindergarten, it was very hard for me. Like I said, I was the youngest of 3 kids, so there were no other kids in the house. Yeah, the other ones, they were older kids. They were already going to school. They were already living their own life, But toddlers or kindergarten age kids, nothing at all. So it was just me in the house and surrounded by big kids and adults, my parents and the nanny. Okay. So going to kindergarten now was very hard, because now you're seeing like a whole sea of kids, like, with different characters and everything like that. So it was hard to adjust. It was scary.
Yeah.
It was very nerve-wracking. So, kids sometimes when they see that you're having a hard time, some have baby brothers at home and everything like that, or they played outside. When they see that you're a bit different, they will really pick on you. So,
Of course.
Kindergarten was really tough because I couldn't really understand, and now you got teachers shouting at you to color in the boxes, and I'm holding these crayons like, what's this, what's going on? And it's just a whole lot of stuff, it was just overwhelming, so my mom pulled me out of kindergarten a bit because it kind of came as a surprise, and she was very observant. So she pulled me out, and I stayed at home for another year. So now she had to, because it was very hard. It was that bad. I couldn't even adjust or socialize properly. So within that time period, they started to mix me more with my cousins. Fortunately enough, I had cousins who were also my age. So they would probably bring them over to the house to play and everything like that, learn how to share toys and everything like that, and learn how to just hawk over things. So I think it helped a bit. So then they gave preschool another shot, like a year later, 2001 probably. That old. They gave preschool another shot, and they came towards, I think my mom told me, said she came around September, so that I could just be there for 3 months.
Really?
Yeah, she was a bit nervous about releasing me in preschool. Then when I went in there, funny enough, I adjusted perfectly. Like, it was so well done, and the culture shock wasn't really. So they're like, I should have just sent you at the beginning of the year, man, because you just adjusted perfectly well.
Yeah.
Then, I graduated preschool and everything was great. Then primary school came and it was another adventure. Primary school was great. It was amazing. But then also there was another period of self-discovery. So I wasn't really academically gifted. I need something. So thing is, statistics were a bit difficult for me. Like later on as an adult and understanding kids, I'm now seeing it, things like mathematics. They're a bit tough for me in a way. Yeah, it happens, bro. I see you. But anyways, it's fine. Yeah,
no, I'm paying attention.
It's good. Yeah. So mathematics was very tough for me. It was very hard. I was having a hard time struggling with that subject. But funny enough, things like Shauna, English, and arts and craft, creative things, I loved those. Science, it was a bit okay, but I liked things that had a little bit of theory to them, because I liked reading a lot, and I liked, due to watching a lot of television, I liked stories, I liked hearing things. Yeah. So, excuse me. So now when you're in that period, now in that environment, you like reading books, you read the Jennies, you read the Tenders, the Sams, and you just want to know what the next adventure was. So yeah, I think that was the main issue, weak at a certain subject but strong in a certain area. So that's something that would affect me later on in my life, later on as an adult, because if you look at it as we grow, I was discovering myself as I went on, and teachers were not really that nice at that time, because they're those guys that believed, hey, if you're not good at mathematics, you don't have a future. So I would struggle with long division, right? I remember there was one kid that I grew up with, that I was close friends with him at the time, right? Yeah. And, this kid was just cruising at mathematics. He was just so badass. He was just going on the long division. He'd be like, done. And I'm just out here on the first stage. I'm and this teacher would make me do this in front of the whole class. And the whole class would start panicking, oh, the teacher's gonna crack you if you don't. And I'm just like that. I really genuinely don't understand what's going on here. Yeah. And she would hit me, for not being good at mathematics. But funny enough, she'd be surprised that I could read very well, I could write very well, but she just used to just throw that away, because unfortunately the school that I went to, it was a community school. Okay. So they were not one of those schools that looked, not to just disrespect or disregard it. It had its own strengths and weaknesses, but there's certain schools where they offer all-round education. Like some kids are good at sports, some kids are good at art, some kids are good at writing.
Yeah.
Not everybody's a mathematician, not everybody's going to be a doctor. Unfortunately, the school that I had gone to at that time prioritized things like that, like mathematics and everything like that. So if you're not good at it, they'll just make you feel like, yeah, you didn't have it. So I would be so scared about my future. Like, I'm not good at math, so am I ever going to be something? Like, am I like, what's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it reached a point where grade 5 came, and I was very good at writing essays a lot, like creative writing, like very awesome at that. I think it came from reading comic books a lot.
Okay.
Like, there used to be like the Sunday Times magazine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the back, there would be like comic books, like, Super Strikers. They'll come with a free edition of Super Strikers.
Yeah.
And I used to read a lot of Super Strikers. Like, there was a cricket version of Super Strikers.
Okay.
Way back, yeah. You have the Caltex jerseys. I don't know if you ever watched Super Strikers.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
have,
yeah.
I
So they used to have the Caltex jerseys and everything, and shakes, the soccer guy. Then there came the soccer one. So I used to read them a lot, So, and my dad used to buy me books by Enid Blyton, storybooks and everything. So I learned how to read I learned how to spell on my own. I learned how to write. It triggered creativity. Because now one thing that people don't realize about animated shows is that they allow a kid to be a creative.
Definitely.
So now at the time, like there was a lot of I would watch Cartoon Network growing up. You'd watch Johnny Bravo, your Dexters, your Ed and Eddies, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And those things helped me to have a creative mind. So when we started doing essay writing, like I wrote an essay one time. Like my teacher gave me homework, like write an essay about a dream that you had. And I wrote an essay about seeing dinosaurs and all that stuff, and it was really crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I took it to the teacher for marking, and I got the shock of my life. Like, the teacher said, Deon, I was like, yes, just because I wasn't good at mathematics, she thought I wasn't possibly good at writing something like that.
Yeah.
She read it and she was like, where did you get this idea? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like about dinosaurs. I was like, I wrote it myself. It's like, you didn't write that. There's no way a dude like you would ever write something like that, And I was like, what exactly do you mean? Then she's like, you know what I mean. She gave me a 0%, and then she threw the essay in the trash can. Like, yeah.
For real.
Yeah, she did. And then I had to go back home, and I told my mom what happened. I was just so sad, and I cried,
Man.
My mom actually went to the school the next day and asked the teacher,
she
yo,
had to.
what happened?
Yeah.
And the teacher freaked out, and she apologized for it. And yeah, she's like, I thought that since he was weak in other subjects, yeah, and she had that automated perspective that he couldn't possibly do that. That's the problem with not offering all-round education, because teachers at the time would think that this guy, since he wasn't
Good at something.
mathematics,
Yeah.
couldn't really. She apologized, and I think she gave me a few more assignments. And she saw, it's the same thing. He's just good at writing. And she gave me an award that week on a Friday, badge, for writing. Then at the end of the year, I won a certificate, a prize for prize giving day.
Nice.
And just think it was just her way of apologizing.
Okay.
Then I think the rest of grade 6, 7, they were just amazing, smooth sailing. Made so many amazing friends. Would you believe me that I'm still talking to some of my grade 7 friends to this day? Like, we sometimes meet for drinks, something like that. Yeah, and we still chill. Like, that's just how amazing life was, like, in school.
Okay.
So that was dark moments, and it had its good moments.
All right.
Then we move on to high school now.
School, yeah.
Like, yeah. So I went to Prince Edward School, like, great school. But the problem was where I was coming from. I was coming from a little community school. Like, it's a school that you just send because, it's the nearest school for the kids in the community. Like, so there isn't much going on there.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at this big school, and there's rugby fields, there's basketball courts, like not just an ordinary. They had, I know Prince Edward had this big basketball court, like an indoor court. That's where it was so huge that we used to have assemblies in there. And they used to have an outer basketball court as well. Like, and then they had this music and computer center. Like, like it was just crazy. Like, they used to do music. You had kids doing music, you had kids doing rugby, you had kids doing cricket, you had kids doing swimming. It was just crazy. Like, it was a lot for me. And kids were huge at the time. Like there was a gym, like inside the way it was structured was crazy. Like the basketball court had a gym on top.
Okay.
So you could see guys working out, and these kids were huge. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it was like an entirely different world. Like, yeah, like from what I was used to. Like, they had this hall where you used to do drama and everything like that. They had education for everything. Like, the concept there was all around. Like, that's when I learned of something called all around education. Like,
Yeah.
the concept of PE was, if you're not good at school, you could try something in the rugby field. You could try something in the soccer field, hockey field. They had every single sport from table tennis, badminton, swimming, diving. Like, like I didn't even know that sport existed. They even had a sport called bridge. Yeah. it was about cards, but it was actually a sport.
Oh.
So that's how crazy it was. Like, and I'm coming in here. I had this culture shock when I was in preschool. And I'm here seeing this, like, coming from a little community school and seeing all these huge kids, like, everybody's got a role, and you got prefects, and you've got hierarchies, and you've got a whole lot of stuff. It was very different, like, But now the thing is, there are other kids that came from feeder schools, like, schools that were a lot better than the one that I...
Okay.
Yeah, like, like, you had the kids from the Selborns, Highlands, Alex Park. They fitted in very well. They just came in and knew what they had to do because they had that exposure already. They had the hockeys, they had the what's and everything. Whereas where I was coming from,
It's pretty much...
it was just a ground, really. Like there wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in a disrespectful way, but yeah, it is like financial situations are different and everything like that. But the other kids that came from other schools, like they just came in, they just adjusted, they just knew what to do when they came. But for me, it took me a while to adjust to the system. Like, yeah. So now Prince Edward, like there was a lot of stuff that was available for everyone. Like it was like a government school that offered private school education. Like it was way ahead of its time. Like very, very well structured and yeah, almost militant in a way. Like, like there was a rugby field called Jubilee. All the fields had names. They had Jubilee, they had Tower, they had Avenues, and Princess Field. You had to know all the names. Yeah, and you had to know everything about the school when it was established. I think right now, it's around 126 years old or so. Yeah, like so you had to know all those things, like if you were into the school. And they even had a handshake there, like for you to be able to tell if someone went to PE or not.
Yeah.
There's a certain handshake that you do. And if someone fails to do that, they never went to PE. Yeah. Like, I'm not even supposed to teach you that handshake, but
Because I was actually about to ask.
yeah, but for the sake of, like, for you to understand how it works, so it's like this. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty much interlocking.
Yeah, it's an interlocking handshake. So, yeah. You see someone like, hey, dude, what up? Yeah, cool. It's just once. That's how you're able to tell someone it's PE. If they struggle with it, they're not from that.
So I'm actually going to practice it and look for some PE kids.
Well, trust me, we can still tell. There's a lot of things that happen. Yeah, you can tell. So you also had to dress a certain way. You had to have your gutters for your socks. Your socks had to be high. And you had to have you had to dress smartly, you had to have a hat on, you had to have your hymn book. All these things, they'll play a huge factor though, like in your life later on.
Okay.
Because they were very important. You couldn't step on certain fields. You couldn't step on the rugby field throughout the entire year. You couldn't step on the hockey field in winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, first team fields were out of bounds. Tennis courts, you couldn't step on it. If you were to step on it, you had to remove your shoes in respect of the team.
The Moses type of thing.
yeah. So it was more about a lot of cultures. So I'm coming from a community school and I don't even know. I'm just out here just walking everywhere.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah. But it was a blast. But for the most part, Form 1 and 2 were not that great because I was trying to adjust to the system because, trying to understand how it works and everything like this. Yeah. Then Form 3 and 4, I was mostly about my books. Yeah, it was mostly like the fear of failing. Like, it's a problem that I had.
Okay.
After having some of those traumatic situations in primary school. If you're failing, you're not going to mount up to anything. So, yeah, that's one thing. I didn't apply myself when I was at PE. That's one of my biggest regrets. I didn't do sports. Yeah. I didn't do much when I was there. of which all these things were available to me. They had a lot of stuff, like, they had a lot of swimming, they had a lot of things going on. One of my biggest regrets at my time at PE was not knowing how to swim, because now I'm an adult and they ask me, do you swim? And I'll be like, no, but yet I hated it. I'll be like, I don't want to swim. I don't want to do this. Like, there was music too. Like, I wish I had taken those piano lessons. Like, I strongly wish, because, Prince Edward was that type of school, like, where if you really applied yourself, you would definitely go somewhere, because the alumni has really done a lot of stuff, like, so my biggest regret is not doing much when I was there. But also some good came when I was there. They allowed me to do art.
Okay.
Yeah. And I hadn't done art before as a subject. But, they would give us all the resources. Like, I used to paint, and I used to draw, and I used to do everything. Painting was so hard for me at first. I used to use pastels. But then, like, later on, using paints, I realized paint is actually way more easier. And if you make a mistake, you can, So our teacher at the time used to take us to art exhibitions. And he would have us host our own art exhibitions, and we'd bring in other kids. Excuse me. We'd bring in other kids as well from different schools, like some of the kids we played sports with. You would go to Heritage for art exhibitions. You go to Chizzy PT. You go to St. George's. You go to convents and see some really amazing art pieces. And be like, this is really cool, and you get to develop your own style from that.
Yeah.
So at first, I used to copy what my seniors were doing, like like the upper sixes that were there when I was in Form 4. I'd be like, I want to paint like them. I didn't have my own identity, but later on, as I started to paint more, I started to realize, hey, I like this, I like that, and I had to be more of myself when I was painting, and that's when I started to get better grades as I was, doing my art as a subject. I used to like graffiti, I used to love animation, I used to love popular culture, loved hip hop and urban things, and I used to incorporate that in my art.
Okay.
And it taught me a lot that if you're just being yourself, your authentic self, the right version of you would come out if you really applied yourself. And the truth will always set you free. Like, don't try to be someone else, It's good to admire someone's design style, but always emulate your own.
True.
Yeah, so around that time, I had a cousin of mine who used to do art also. Like, she was way older than me, but she was now doing design at the Poly.
Okay.
Like Harare Poly, and she used to do graphic design. She started telling me about it. Like, that's really interesting. My art teacher also told me about it, and we used to go to a place called Ziva. I don't know if you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Zimbabwe.
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, Zimbabwe Institute of Digital Arts. Yeah, I remember I went there one day, and I was shocked. I was breathtaking, I met an animator there. I met graphic designers. I met somebody who specialized in typography. It was so thorough, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I think this is the path that I want to take. I think this is the direction. Like, I like writing, my teachers said I was a good writer, and I loved painting, and I loved drawing, and I loved creativity.
Yeah.
So why not, So that's why I would say all-round education is best for children. And it allows you to discover your hidden talents. So when I was struggling with school, I'd read in some articles that try everything that's in school and you'll find out certain things that you're good at. And, well, sports I didn't try that much, mainly because, regrettably, I was very lazy. Yeah, but I wish I did more, though. Like, I was lazy and I was not athletic. But of which now, when I realize it now, it's not about how athletic you are. It's about the amount of effort you're putting in.
True.
Had I attended more practice sessions, had I applied myself, I think I would have done better at the sports in school, because PE had a lot of amazing sports.
Okay.
And I wish I did them. And also, later on, I discovered that I could do drama. I could act very well.
Okay.
So I used to be in the performing arts. I was in the drama club, and I used to act a lot. So I take part in some festivals and everything like that, and the school play, and I ended up getting a Colors Award, and that was the best thing that ever happened. Like, I was shocked. Like, I'm actually good at something,
Nice.
So yeah, like, all-around education helps kids to know like how good they are. Like, someone is not good at science, geography, mathematics. Let them do something else. Like, they even had metal work there, woodwork. So kids would discover their abilities there. Some have started panel beating companies, and they're working with their own hands. Some are carpenters. Some are just doing very well with those abilities, like businessmen and everything like that, just by having all-round education.
Okay.
So yeah, by the time I finished school, due to that exposure that they gave us, a government school giving us such high quality education, I just knew what I wanted to do by the time I left. And I was like, hey, I can act, right? I'm not camera shy. I'm confident in public speaking, and I love drawing, and I love designing, and I also love writing. I think I'm gonna work in the advertising or marketing industry and find my path there.
Okay.
Yeah. Sports were a bit too expensive as well. You had to go for tours, so I just looked at them like you need the proper shoes. PE was very particular. Like they wanted presentation to be on point. So if you're gonna play a sport, make sure your kit is on point. You have to have the right shoes and also be available for tours, and those are very pricey. So I didn't want to stress people at home that much, so I just decided to just do art and paint, and that's when I discovered I wanted to be a designer, and that's my journey through school.
Okay.
Yeah, loved it.
So it ended up spilling into poly.
Oh, the poly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The poly was a great place. It had its areas, but it was a unique experience. So this is now like after I leave school, I take a gap year to really decide, do I really want this? Then yeah, I applied, and then they told me, yeah, your application is late. You might have to, wait for the whole year. And that was painful for me, because now I was like, I really want to do design, but they won't let me because I missed the applications.
Yeah.
And I fell into depression.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had spent a year at home after high school to discover what I wanted to do. And I was like, I think I want to do design. I applied. I told I missed the application window. So it's 2 years at home, and it's just nothing going on, Like, yeah, you fall into depression because most of your friends now, this is now the time of social media. It's now starting to take its hype. Instagram has just come. There was Facebook, now there's Instagram, with the old logo, with the brown camera. But now you're discovering it, and you're seeing all your friends. They're taking these high quality pictures. All the people you went to high school with, like they're now in uni. Yeah, and all the people that you're friends with, they don't really talk to you anymore now. Things have changed. Some are now working for their parents. Some are now hustling, like in the streets. Like some people are just good at that. Like they just know how to hustle.
Yeah.
And they don't have same time as you used to, and the bond that you had as kids is now gone. That's just sad reality. They've met new people where they've gone, and they're now in university and studying different things. Majority were now out of the country, and I don't think I ever saw them again. And yeah, it was now like a reality check of life as an adult.
Okay.
And it was very hard, and yeah, now you have to find a job, you have to do things, and since I wasn't in school, I had to contribute something at home. So I started working at Edgar's,
Okay.
Yeah, packing up clothes, mopping floors and everything like that. And just sending through applications and hoping that, Poly would accept me. Because now I didn't want to go to Chinoi because it was too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ziva was too expensive.
Very.
I couldn't afford it. So I was like, the Poly is the only place that I have a chance. If not that, I don't know if I can be self-taught. I need to learn the craft. And yeah, it was a very tough time period. Then eventually I sent an application. They told me, yeah, you've been accepted. I was like, wow, really? Yeah, and that really changed a lot. I didn't know the journey that was waiting for me, like up ahead.
Yeah.
Like a crazy journey, whole adventure. And now the Poly I'm coming from Prince Edward, a school that was like very hands-on and everything like that.
Yeah.
And college is now very free, and I'm at PE, you don't step on lawns. Yeah, I'm busy. To this day, I have difficulty stepping on lawns. Like, everybody's walking through lawns. I'm seeing lectures. I'm like, morning, sir. They're just like, yeah, whatever. It is different,
Yeah.
And also now, you're learning with girls as well. It's so cool and everything like that. But now when you're at a boys' school, you just behave like yourself. Like, but now the ladies around, you have to, be clean, be a gentleman and everything like that. They taught you how to be a gentleman in school, but when you're with your guys, with your friends, you don't really care. But now you have to behave a certain way. So it was another culture shock in a way.
Yeah.
But also I met people from different backgrounds, and I was at the Poly. It was amazing. I met pure artists. I met Rastafarians. I met hipsters. I met all kinds of dudes. Like, it was crazy, man. Like, I met so many people from different backgrounds. Like, you know, it was just something else. And I can tell you, those were the best 4 years of my life. At first, I was a bit uneasy. I was like, it's a bit different. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, yeah. Then later on, I was like, I love this place. I don't want to leave. Like, it's the best place ever. Like, yeah. So they would have us do art in the first year, which was so cool. We used to walk all the way to BAM station just from the poly. Okay. Yeah, down Cockham, like near Cockham. Like, yeah, it was very far. But when you're walking with your boys, you don't really care. You used to buy all of our art equipment at good prices. Shout out to BAM stationers, yeah. And then we'd come back, paint, and just live life and just enjoy, man. Like, college life was the best. Yeah. And then came the internship years, you know, had a great internship and had an amazing experience work. Came back to school again, finished off my design diploma, and yeah, it was a blast. Okay. College was, I think, out of all my school experiences, despite the culture shocks and everything, college was the best. Yeah, I would go for trips and to Mashingo, to Bluewayo. And I'm very fortunate, to be quite honest with you. I'm still friends with all my friends from high school. I'm still friends with some of my best friends from primary school. Okay. And I'm still friends with my friends from college, all of them. Like, we still talk. I last talked to all my friends, like, probably, like, even today in the morning, we talk. Like, yeah. Wow. Yeah, we still have our groups and everything like that. All my mates from high school, I can even, like, I was having dinner with some of them on New Year's. So it's those types of bonds that you have, you know. Okay. Yeah, so my academic life was... It was a roller coaster, but it was just amazing at the same time. Yeah. 50-50, man. 50-50. Okay. Yeah, that's my school life.
Yeah, but it's very inspiring.
Yeah, really?
I mean, to be honest, because especially from I think that the primary school experiences, like having someone judging you based on one thing you can't do. I mean, that affects you psychologically.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, because I was really paying attention to every single detail you were actually putting out. And yeah, I mean, I actually have to commend you for like staying true to yourself and just fighting through all of that. Because not many people can do that. Like, because I remember my time in primary school, kind of similar to yours, but mine seemed to be kind of worse. Yeah. Because I was more of the quiet kid, the shy kid, and the people took advantage of that. And they would
kids are cruel. Yeah,
very,
they
very cruel. And they would actually make fun of me to the point where it's unlike you. You still have a strong bond with your friends from primary school, high school, college. With me, yes, I can still talk to some of the friends from those particular phases. But I think the first time I get to meet them after a long time, I've got this, it's like an inferiority complex.
All right.
Where it's just like, I'm like, man, is he going to make fun of me again? Because that really crippled me when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot.
So I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're pretty much a strong dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
To be honest with that. So from your time at Poly, what lessons did you take away from that time? And like, how have they shaped you even until today?
Okay. From the Poly, I learned a lot of things like cultural diversity. Like, I met people from different backgrounds. Yeah. Some backgrounds that I wasn't even used to. And I still made friends with them. And it helped me a lot, like in terms of my socializing. Like, I wasn't a social kid growing up, but it also helped me to learn how to adapt to certain people in certain situations, certain communities, and certain environments. Like, it was so diverse. Like, one of my lecturers was from Japan.
Oh.
Yeah. She was a great individual. She taught me digital design, and her name was Haruka Hoshi. Yeah. So
Japan, for real.
yeah. Also partially Australian as well.
Oh,
Yeah. So Japanese lady speaking an Australian accent. That's how wild it was. But talking to her and learning much from her, like she and how she used to blend in. She used to love Zim a lot. Used to have her hair braided as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And she used to teach me a lot about design. Everything that I know about design, she taught me. Yeah, she was just amazing, and like meeting someone like that was just amazing, and meeting like I said, sometimes I learned with Rastafarians, and it was just like I'm like with these hipsters, and like wow, these guys are different. So Polly taught me adaptability,
Okay.
and friendships from people of every type of background, and being able to be more understanding of people from different religious groups. We had a lot of people who came from different religions. We had your Christians, we had your Muslims, and we also had Apostores. We had everyone,
Yeah.
But believe me, I got friends from all those different religious sectors, even from high school. Like like my best friends in school were Muslims.
Okay.
And I'm out here being Christian, and you learned not to put that bridge between you just because of religious differences. You learned how to adapt to people. And yeah, it helped me out a lot, And there was also like another lesson that I learned when I was in college. Resilience. There was a time in my life where I had to work and also be in college, make sure my fees was paid.
Okay.
Yeah, my fees was paid. So balancing work and school can be very hard, can take a toll on you mentally. But being able to soldier through that, I learned how to be resilient and how to be determined that, hey, if I have a goal or a target that I want to reach, nothing was going to stop me from reaching that goal.
Okay.
I remember my first internship, it didn't go so well. Yeah. Like when I started working in the design field, I lost my first job as a designer when I was doing my internship. Mainly because, I don't know, like I was told that, hey, you're not fast enough at producing work, and everything like that. And it did really affect my self-esteem as a designer, because I was still like, I think, how old was I? This was 2018. I was 23 around the time, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still learning and how to design, how to put layers and how to put this image here and everything. And you get told you're not good enough. And yeah, it was really, really tough again. You fall into that depression again. You'd be like, hey, maybe those good grades I was getting in school, were they not true and everything like that? But I picked myself up again and started sending out those applications and got hired by some amazing, larger, better organizations that are more accommodating. And those guys taught me everything that I know. Yeah, so it was just like, a huge gap, where I learned how to be determined. Like, hey, I lost my job at the first attempt. I didn't know. I was like, maybe this design stuff is not for me. Like, I just got my first job and I'm excited. But within like less than 3 months, I'm out of the job. And one point I thought, hey, maybe I'm not good at this. I should never do this. But then I kept on pushing, and voila, I was out here now designing. Like if someone tells me to design something, I just do it like chop. And it's just a lot of things. I think it doesn't come from you being good or being born to do it, but it comes from learning how to do it.
True.
Yeah, like the organization that I went to had a lot of designers and a lot of mature people that were in the industry. So they taught me that, hey, this takes time. You're not gonna get it at the first experience. That's why in college they give you these tiny little projects and they tell you to do it within 3 days because it takes a lot of time. Even as an experienced designer, there's certain things that you will never know. You just know as you grow. So they taught me everything, and they had enough time to teach me stuff. And yeah, it took a while. And later on, I look back and I appreciate everything that they taught me. Such that I was working and going to school at the same time. But by the time I came back to school, I was just blasting through all of my assignments without even trying. Okay. So good things do take time. Like, design is very hard. It's graphic design is people think it's just placing things but it is not a joke. It is very complicated. It's like a very hard crossword puzzle. Like it's like you're playing Sudoku in some type of way.
Yeah.
And just one little change can affect an entire project.
True.
So it's very time consuming and grueling, but also at the same time you can only be good at it or excel at it in the way you undertake your projects if you actually take the time to learn it. Yeah, so if somebody tells you, hey, you're not fast enough, you're not doing this, trust me, they don't know much about the project. They don't know much about the craft, or they don't care. They don't care about the craft. Yeah. You will not survive as a designer if you don't love what you do, because it's gonna get hard
Very, very
out
hard.
there, like brutally hard, cruelly hard. But you just need to have the right people around you. Like,
True.
just stick to the community and seek other people's help as well. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and just grow. Yeah, I think that was my career, and that was my experiences from college, because college built my career, because you went to internships and then you came back. So you will deal with difficult lecturers, of course, but they're preparing you for what's ahead, because trust me, it's kindergarten compared to what you experience professionally, because now as a professional you expect it to be 100%, no jokes, because when you mess up in school, it's a deduction for your marks.
Yeah.
But whereas now if you mess up in real life, now you can print out an ad and people get the wrong information and it'll be on you. So yeah, the professional world, you have to be on point.
Yeah.
It has to be tough, because you're dealing with real life.
True.
Yeah, so that's one thing. Like in graphic design, if you print out the wrong information, the whole country is going to be misled because of you. So yeah, that's how crazy it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think practice and consistency
And love for the craft.
exactly.
Yeah.
They really do play a pivotal role. Because I remember I never got a chance to go to school for designing. So it was just a self-taught type of thing.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So I would have like a lot of sleepless nights,
Yeah.
just watching tutorials. Just
And there's no one to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah. Whereas when
Exactly.
you're at a school or when you're in a company, you just say, bruh, I'm stuck.
exactly.
If you don't know, you cry tears. Like, yeah.
So I think that's a powerful lesson. Like people just have to look at what this is doing now. But it's like people have to understand that for you to be good at something, you have to really work hard towards it. You really have to push as much as you can. I remember, I think there was an interview. It was Austin Theory
All right.
on this guy, Chris Van Vliet. I think he's a podcaster as well. So Austin was simply saying, because Chris was pretty much saying like, okay, you're usually involved in these segments where you're getting beat up most of the time. So Austin was just like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
To most people it sucks, but
As a jobber, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
at this point it's like a jobber. So it was just like, yeah, it might suck to most people, but to me, I take it as the one thing that sucks is what usually works the most,
Yeah.
because there's hard work in that. So
It motivates you to do better.
definitely,
Indeed.
definitely.
Indeed, true.
So still keeping the creative space, there's this event that's called the Converge,
Oh, wow.
which is pretty much a beloved event for many creatives. What draws you to it, and how does it inspire your work?
Converge is an amazing event. Oh, you don't even know where to start. Because sometimes when you like things like animation, design, and creative stuff, like, it's not a lot of people that like that. It's more of a path, really. Like, it's a unique fascination. So when you see other people that like what you like,
Yeah.
you're amazed. And you're like, hey, you guys are like me. I first heard of Converge through a friend of mine from high school.
Okay.
Yeah. He would tell me about that. He loved manga and anime a lot. So yeah, he used to I used to talk to him about some things about creativity and everything. So he used to come and hang around the art studio with us. And later on after high school, he was like, yo, there's something called Converge. I'd be like, okay, what is it all about? Like, comic exposed as well, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember one time, also another classmate of mine from high school,
Yeah.
who I did art with, he invited me to his exhibition when we were in college, and I went to his exhibition, and that's when I met one of the people from Converge, and they're also talking about how their experiences in the industry are, and I was like, I want to know what this Converge thing is all about. And first I was lazy to go. I was like, I don't know. Then I went, I think 2021 for the first time. I was impressed. Like I was so happy. Like, you get to see like different creatives in Zim. So many amazing artists and so many people that are out there that are on the underground that make such amazing work, and networking as well. It's a networking opportunity. You meet more people that are like you. You get to know who's in your industry, who's who, and who's that. And it's just so amazing. Like I met some very powerful creatives. I also got to meet as well like some of the guys from Alula Animation. And they're working with Disney, and you get to meet a lot of prominent people, and it's just really cool to actually say, hey, when you see an artwork or an advert coming on TV and you're watching Disney with your kids, and you'll be like, I know the guy who made that. It's something that's very unique to say. So you meet so many great people and so many inspirational people as well who tell you their stories that are unique as well to them, and how they dealt with their struggles, because their struggles are similar to mine. Like you come into a house, you want to be an animator, they'll look at you like, whoa, like, bro, why can't you be a manager, an accountant, or a lawyer, or doctor? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but but not everybody is meant to do that. Imagine if I became a doctor, how many people would be dead from the surgeries? I'm just thinking, I get clumsy with the scissors, bro. Like, I'm just like, whoa, I don't like seeing blood, bro. Like, what's wrong? Like, I don't want to do that. So, it's just those situations, So, Converge played a huge role. I was lucky to be exposed to it when I was in college. And it has guided me in a lot of things. I still go for the functions to this day. Like, the last one I went to was last year. And it's always an amazing experience.
Okay. Because I actually noticed that, I think, was it last year? You actually took a picture. I think I saw Deadpool was there. Like
that was 2021.
Really?
Yeah. That was 2021.
Damn.
That guy in the Deadpool costume. Yeah, exactly. There's also like costume parties as well, like, cosplay and all these things.
Okay.
And it's really cool. Yeah. That was 2021. Can you believe that's 4 years ago now?
The time flies.
Scary.
Because I was just like, man, the funny thing about being a creative is sometimes your way of thinking actually differs from what how other people think. I once had a dream, like one of my favorite characters is Batman. And I once had a dream, and I was Batman. I was actually wearing his costume. So I actually told Glenn about it. And then Glenn was like, so did you get a chance to take any pictures so you could show us when you wake up that you're actually wearing a costume?
Oh my gosh.
But
really?
Even to this day, when I think of it, I'm like, man, maybe just one day, if I get a chance, I'll probably wear a Batman costume.
You should.
I mean, because
you only live once, bro. Get that costume.
Even if people laugh, but that's gonna mean so much to me.
Yeah, true.
So,
100%. Yeah.
So, is there one project in particular that you've done, like design-wise, that how best can I put it, like a favorite project that you can still talk about to this day?
A lot.
Okay.
It's a lot of projects that I've fallen in love with. So I remember one time I did a project for a big bank. This was a bank that was going through a different transition. Like, with corporates, there's a lot of acquisitions and everything like that happen in the business world. And the issue was, this was during my time as working in a career in advertising. So the issue was, hey, the bank comes in and they're like, we need to maintain our clientele. And, people sometimes generally, they do get nervous when an acquisition is made. So they're like, we need to maintain our clientele. So what is the best way we can create projects that can be able to, help us out to reach our goal? So this was during the pitch. So you got a lot of different organizations, different advertising agencies coming in. And this is my first time going for a pitch. And
Okay.
I actually volunteered and asked if I could go for the pitch. And luckily, the people that I worked with, they were kind enough to let me go for that pitch.
Okay.
And yeah. And before we went for that pitch, they allowed me to design for that pitch. Yeah. So I was in the boardroom and like it was very scary. Like I'm just a college kid who was just coming out of, he was on an internship. Yeah. And yeah, they talked about the presentation and my superiors, they were talking. And for some weird reason, something came over me. I was like, I just raised my hand and they were on my artwork. And you got your supervisor looking at you like, shut up. I was like, nah, I want to talk.
Yeah.
And I got up and I started explaining my work in the during the pitch. And these guys were scared that I might say the wrong thing. And I went there and I said it all. I explained my work and went through with it. And then, yeah, I was done. I sat back in my seat. And the clients that were looking at us like, okay, cool. And then, yeah, proceeded the interview with the pitch, And after it was done, a few days later, got the message. Congratulations, guys, you got the pitch. I was like, wow. I was shocked. And I was like, I was a part of that, And now handling the branding of this corporate, it was very, very, it wasn't easy because, you had to change the brand image, the perspective that the people were having it. And I was dealing with it and I got to work with it. I fell in love with the brand and, people started to, more clients started to roll in for this corporate and, a lot of things started happening and people had a more positive outlook towards the bank.
Okay.
And I can say that it had a happy ending. Yeah, from all of that experience. And it taught me a lot. It taught me how to be brave, taught me how to be confident, taught me how to believe in myself. And just to have that, that aura that when you're out there and you're talking about business, make sure you believe in what you're saying and make sure you deliver on what you're saying, no matter how difficult it is. Look at your situation, say, can I do this? And you look at your resources and you're able to, gauge what you can do and what you can't do. Okay. Be honest and deliver. Yeah. Great experience.
Nice. That was a good experience.
Yeah, it was.
And congratulations on winning the PE.
Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Yeah, thank you so much, man. You're very much welcome.
Sure, I just had to do that.
All right. Yeah.
So anyways...
and you're getting good at it too. Can you imagine? You see? Yeah, you caught on early. By the way, if there's anybody from Prince Edward who's watching this, watch out for this guy. He's going to go around posing as one of us. And it's going to be really... I guess so. Yeah. All right.
So anyways, moving forward from the whole, designing thing.
Yeah.
You also mentioned that you're a big fan of wrestling.
Yes, I love the WWE. Oh my gosh.
Just as I am. So, if you were to step into the ring, what would your persona be?
Edge. And not the 2020 Edge, 2006 Edge, the rated R superstar type of guy.
He was a bad dude.
Everybody hated him, but I loved him. I loved the villains. I would never watch pro wrestling, right? I loved the villains so much. I don't know why. Like, Edge was just that character where, like, he was just a snake. Like, you didn't know what he was gonna do next.
Yeah.
He destroyed a lot of people's childhoods. Like, he was just so slimy and dirty and... He was a disgusting individual, but for some weird reason I liked him because, his move, the spear. The spear was just amazing. And the hair, like, he used to have this thing where he used to pull his hair back and, just start edging on the people, like, come on to the guy. Yeah. And the guy slowly, you got Cena trying to get up, and is struggling to get up. And then, bam, he hits the guy and he comes in with that, he used to come with that briefcase, the money in the bank.
Yeah.
And he's now the world champion, like... He was just a wild guy, like. But what I liked about Edge was his adaptability, like in any type of match.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched ECW One Night Stand.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Although I didn't like the ending.
oh yeah, like 2006 with Edge, like like Edge had a tag team with one of my favorite wrestlers, Mick Foley. Like
Yeah.
Mick Foley was just crazy. Like like they had a match before that,
Okay.
WrestleMania
yeah,
21,
yeah.
no 22, 2006, yeah, where Edge speared the guy through fire.
Onto the table.
Yeah, onto the burning table. I'm like, this dude is just yeah, like nah, Edge was just on another level. And then he had that match at One Night Stand where he pinned Beulah in a weird way, and it was this I was like, this guy's I don't know, man. Like, and he was being thrown on spikes.
Yeah.
Like, and barbed wire and all. I was like, can this stuff happen in a match? Like, what's going on with these guys? And fire and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Edge was just that guy who was on another level. And you see, like, I watched pro wrestling, like, from the first time I watched pro wrestling was through my brother and my cousin, my brother and my older cousin, like, who used to come visit us.
Okay.
It was WCW at the time on
Yeah.
ZBC. Well, I don't know if it was ZBC or Joy TV. Like, yeah,
Whatever. Yeah.
yeah, somewhere between those two. They used to play WCW, and there was Hulk Hogan, NWO, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. Rey Mysterio didn't have a mask, funny enough, during that time. Yeah, Rey Mysterio Jr., Billy Kidman, all these amazing, like, wrestlers, like, Goldberg. Yeah, there was also Goldberg and all that time. Like,
Lex Luger as well.
oh yeah, Lex Luger was the Jack guy. Like, yeah. Yeah, that was the time when you started watching wrestling. Chris Jericho was also there to a certain extent. So that was the first time I watched the wrestling on ZBC. Then it stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I was like, whatever happened to the show they called wrestling? Then in 2003, like, there was BTV. Like, they used to play Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
And there was your Scott Steiners, your RVDs, your Booker T's, your Triple H's. Those are on the 2002-03 roster. Your young Randy Orton. And yeah, then later on there was SmackDown on ETV. And there was Brock Lesnar. Like, he was still the new guy, like, the next big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was scared of Brock Lesnar, like, at the time. Like, I don't know if he was my favorite or not, because I would just root against the guy who would fight against him, like Kurt Angle. Yeah. Kurt Angle used to beat Brock Lesnar, and I would be just like, because Brock was a beast at the time. I remember one episode I watched when I was a kid. I was 8 years old. Brock had the Big Show on top of a turnbuckle, and they hit him with a suplex.
Yeah.
And then the ring collapsed. Like, I was like, what the heck? I was watching with my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, and the guy used to live in our cottage. Like, wrestling was so big. Like, you used to have your neighbors come to the house just to watch WWE. Like, dude lifted the guy and the ring collapsed. Like, it was just something else. Like, I used to love it so much. Like, like, you could tell, like, at first I used to think it was real. And as a kid, I was thinking, like, oh my gosh, these guys are like, literally for real. Then later on, as I started to grow around 12, 13, I could tell, like, there's something off. Like, if I get lifted like this, I don't think I'll survive.
Yeah.
Then I started reading. There was now Wikipedia. The internet was now becoming, like, then it's like my dad used to print out, like, little articles for me. Like, yeah, it is fake. We just didn't want to break your little heart. Like, yeah, then I started to realize that, hey, it's choreographed, and yeah. But then I never stopped watching. I'll be like, but the athleticism is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a time when I did stop watching, though. Like, I remember after Chris Benoit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after he murdered his family and everything like that. The WWE decided to tone things down a bit.
Yeah.
There was no more blood, no more chair shots to the head, no more rated R promos and storylines.
Yeah.
And it became a child-friendly product, like the PG era.
And that's where Cena...
Yeah. And Cena became the main guy, and I was not into that. Like, I like traditional wrestlers with the, outfits and everything like that.
Yeah.
And Cena came in with his shorts. I didn't like Cena that much. I liked him when he was still, like, on that Word Life thing.
Yeah.
Like,
thugonomics.
Yeah, the master of thugonomics. He was like so super cool around that time. But I don't know, Cena was just becoming, like, overrated. And I was starting to catch on, like, I think by the time I was 14. And yeah, I think the WrestleMania in 2009 was the last PPV I watched. And I was like, I saw Rey Mysterio beating JBL in a minute, and I was like, nah, change the channel.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch WWE for like, I think 5 years. Didn't watch it. Didn't have any interest in it. I would see the video game covers. I'd be like, oh, they're new guys. And I'll see Sheamus. I'll see all these other guys, because when I left, it was still,
Yeah.
Then, for some weird reason, I heard that Brock Lesnar was back in 2012. But I was like, yeah, well. Then I heard he beat the streak.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what, man? 2015, I was like, let me come back and watch this stuff. I came back solely because of Brock Lesnar. I wanted to see Brock Lesnar because he was just, because I had seen him. I'd moved from WWE to UFC.
Okay.
And I remember watching UFC, and I see Lesnar coming in. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know this guy. Like, whatever happened to him? He was in wrestling at one point, and he just vanished. And I was in the UFC, and he was fighting Frank Mir, and he lost that match. Yeah, but the way the match happened, like, he lost within, I think, the first round.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was fighting a guy who was way smaller than him. Like, Brock is huge. He's got lats. He's got his shoulders. He's a scary guy. And he's fighting against Frank Mir, who looked like a random dude,
Yeah.
And the match starts. Lesnar starts kicking this guy's ass. Like, he starts punching him. He starts hitting him. He starts, sorry if I said ass like that.
No, it's alright. It's alright.
Yeah. So he starts punching the guy, starts hitting him, and the guy's lacerated on the forehead. But for some weird reason, this guy is just calm during the entire match. Like, he's not scared. He's not anything. And he just puts Brock in this submission hold. And he's about to break his arm. And Brock taps out in less than 3 minutes. I'm like, how does a guy this small makes a big man like that tap out in his first match? Yeah. That's when I had a fascination in mixed martial arts and the UFC. I was like, this is just amazing. So I used to watch Brock's matches. The crowd wasn't disappointed in his match that time, because the guy who was fighting was a former champion, and he actually managed to bruise him. But the crowd wanted to see more, and his other matches started to improve, and he became a dominant force and became champion. So I'm not watching wrestling anymore, but I hear this guy is back and he beat the streak, and I'm like, whoa, I gotta see this. So I come back in 2015, and the Raw star is stacked. They got your Roman Reigns, you've got the Seth Rollins, you've got Dean Ambrose, you've got all these talented people, and you also got Brock in there, you got Triple H. Then they had Sting. Yeah, Sting had to come back for that WrestleMania, and I that was my first time watching WrestleMania since 2009. Like, after a 6-year absence, I was like, I need to see this. And WrestleMania 2015 was great. There was Wyatt versus The Undertaker. Yeah, that was a great match, and it was in this outdoor stadium. Like, last time I watched WrestleMania, it was still like,
those
dingy little clothes,
yeah.
But now it was in this outdoor stadium, and you got Wyatt versus Taker. You can see the weather conditions changing, and you can see the matches started in the afternoon. The ladder matches, Money in the Bank. There's now this guy called Daniel Bryan. You're like, oh, who is this guy with the beard? Like, he's really cool. Like, the yes thing, right?
The movement.
Yeah. I watched the entire pay-per-view, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I was like, the storylines were great. Then the final match was Brock versus Roman Reigns. Yeah, and then in the end, Seth Rollins comes in with the cashing in, and then he won the title. I was like, this is like an Edge type of ending. Like, Seth Rollins gave me Edge vibes.
Yeah.
It's like a blend of... It's like a blend of Edge and Triple H in a way. And an element of Chris Jericho. Like, if you just mixed it, like, I think those are the characteristics that he has, Like, I think he's a really cool guy. Like, and I was wondering where all the other guys went, the Chris Jerichos, the other guys, that I used to grow up watching, Because, there used to be Evolution, the group.
Yeah.
Triple H, Batista, Randy.
And Flair.
And Ric Flair. Yeah. I wasn't really a fan of Flair. He was just an old man. We used to bleed a lot. Like, his matches used to make me want to throw up. Like, he used to just, like, you just get a punch and poof. Dude is bleeding,
already,
like, and believe it or not, I enjoyed Vince McMahon matches. Vince is quite a character, eh? Like, he's one of my most favorite characters, as crazy as he is. Yeah.
There was a time he beefed with Bobby Lashley during.
And he was wearing a durag.
A durag, yeah. But it was actually after,
Benoit died.
It was after their feud with Trump, where he was shaved.
Yeah, that was after Benoit died. Yeah.
Man.
But why was he wearing a do-rag whilst wrestling a black guy? Anyway.
I think it's
Yeah. Anyway.
yeah, it's just about Vince and nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's
Wrestling in a do-rag. Anyways, yeah. Continue.
yeah. So, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave behind in this world?
Oh wow, that's a very good question. It's just a legacy of hard work. A legacy of trying as hard as you can to be as honest as you can. Like, honesty is a hard thing for a lot of people. Like, we all lie, but that is the truth.
Yeah.
But in business, you have to make sure that you're honest 100% in all your works and everything like that.
True.
So I'd like to leave a legacy of hard work, honesty, and perseverance. Just being relentless in achieving your goals and focusing on the main target and not letting other things distract you. Following your dreams. That's the legacy I'm leaving. Yeah.
That's interesting. And what piece of advice would you give to the audience? I know there's people trying to navigate through their passions. People sometimes struggle with their personal issues, maybe from school, whatever it is, even work. From your experiences, what kind of advice would you leave to the audience?
All right. If you have a dream, pursue it at all costs. I think it's more painful to regret not trying than failing. That's always one thing that I've always told myself. Like, always try. No matter what. You miss 100%, so 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you have a dream, no matter what happens, no matter what someone from school says, no matter what someone from any place that you're doing your professions in, and even sometimes people that you're close to, they say, nah, you're not cut out for this, please. You're the one who knows yourself. You're the one who knows how you work. You're the one who knows how you function. And the only person who knows the truth is you. So always pursue your dreams no matter what. And no man of flesh and bone can come between you and your dreams.
Oh, nice.
They're just like you. Yeah, I guess so.
Nice. Yeah. Well said. Well said. So, anyways, as we wrap up, there's this segment called Quick Strides. So it's pretty much a segment where the audience gets to know about you in a fun-paced way.
I'm scared. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just 5 questions.
All right, sure. Quick.
So
questions, okay, sure.
We'll start with the first question. What's the one risk you've taken that paid off the most?
Basically asking one girl out when I was in school.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was in school, I just asked her out. And yeah. We actually dated for some time, man. Like, this was, how old was I? I think I was 19. Yeah, and I was very nervous. And yeah, I actually didn't know it was going to happen. And it did. So, like I said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So yeah, asking my crush out was very good. Like, it worked out. Yeah.
This is beautiful and unexpected.
Yeah. It didn't work out like forever. Like,
of course,
it worked out at that time. So yeah, it's better than That's caught me off guard with that one. Yeah.
This is dope. This is dope. And then second question: if you could instantly master any skill, what would it be?
Oh wow, that's a cool one. Car maintenance, like mechanic, like just the skill of just dealing with vehicles in general. Like it saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of money, and gets you to help other people as well. And increases your safety as well on the road. Just basically vehicle maintenance skills. I'd really love to have those and mastered those. Like, yeah. Though I haven't met anybody who's got 100% knowledge of that. Like, yeah, there's just a person who's good at this, who's good at that. But if I could have that skill, it would be so cool. Like, it would save a lot of time and a lot of money. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really a good skill. It's a great skill.
Okay.
And increases safety as well when you travel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. And third question, what's a misconception people have about you?
That I'm just a lanky guy who's just content with the situation and doesn't really dream past his environment. But actually, I do have dreams and I do have hope and I do have a lot of ambition for myself, be it in my personal life, be it in my professional life, be it in my religious aspects as well, and my beliefs and my systems. I have like a lot of ambition. I like to just grow and try to do better at things, even in my own personality and working on myself. Yeah. Yeah, it's something that a lot of people don't really know, but I'm not just content with a situation. I like to just progress. I force myself to progress.
Okay.
Yeah, I just try. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. And fourth question, what's the one thing you like, if you had the power, the one thing you wish you could change about the creative industry in Zimbabwe?
I'd like it to be more open-minded, be more advanced. I look at first world concepts and I'm blown away by them. And they allow growth, they allow usage of technology, and they allow themselves to be able to move from the traditions of general design. Like, you know, I think in Zim, our clientele is mostly like, you know, like if you look at an advertising agency sometimes, the clientele is still a bit backward in terms of how they want certain things, because sometimes some strategies might still work, but I like for us to start growing now and start using certain technologies, certain design trends as well, like logo designs. I feel like logos in Zimbabwe, like, or sometimes like corporates, like or companies, or even small businesses, they don't put that much effort in logos and presentation and branding. I'd really love for us to be more advanced in what the world is doing. You look at what's happening in SA. Not that I'm comparing countries, but I'm looking at the industries in Australia, in industries in Europe and Japan and, you know, America. It's just a lot of stuff that's we're still behind on. And a lot of designers want to execute those things, but sometimes clientele has restrictions.
Yeah.
Reasonably so, though, for relevance as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the final question.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm no longer taking from what I had planned. Just picking up from what you spoke about when we started. You said you love food.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite dish or meal, whatever?
Lasagna. Period. And anything with meat. Yeah. I love nyama, bro. Like, I love my nyamas. If you don't give me anything with meat, you're punishing me. I don't eat vegetarian salad-ish stuff. You know, I don't touch that. Yeah, nyama, 100%.
All right. And actually, lasagna is actually something that my mom used to make.
All right.
Ever since we were kids, especially for Christmas. It's always been sort of like a special attraction.
All right.
So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's amazing.
At least
the
you know.
cheese and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
But yeah, so that's just about it.
Yeah.
With the quick strides. We've actually come to the end of the episode.
Oh, wow.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Because I know there was so much more to talk about. But maybe in the future we would actually do a part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Where we can talk more about some other stuff. But I really do appreciate you coming to the podcast. Like, it really, really means a lot.
All right. I appreciate you inviting me over to the podcast as well.
Yeah, of course. It really means a lot. Again, to me. like inviting you
Oh,
means a lot to me.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah. But I just hope the audience got to learn so much from your experiences, your stories. So thank you. The last time.
Oh wow! okay. Do the
see what I mean?
handshake, man. That's
Yeah,
cool, bro.
yeah.
That's really cool. Hey, man, I appreciate it.
I'm
Appreciate it.
catching on.
Yeah. The old boys are gonna be so livid. Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's one of us now. Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah,
been.
you know what they call a former PE kid?
What do they call?
They're called an old Hararian.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, maybe you could be an honorary old Hararian.
Okay. It kind of feels wrong in a way because, I mean, I'm kind of old.
Oh, come on, Indian Araria. Oh, man, what the heck? What the
Exactly.
heck?
But anyways,
Yeah.
I really do appreciate you coming
Yeah.
here. And like I said, I just hope the audience got to learn so much from
Yeah, true.
this guy's experiences. So if you've been getting value from my content, do leave your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to know what you guys think. Leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, please do, because you miss out on a lot. And this is just one interesting movement. So that does it for us. Thank you guys for watching. There's so much more interesting things in store. So make sure you stay on and, move on with the journey. So this is from me, Deon.
You stride.
Yes. And the man behind the scenes, none other than Glenn.
Yeah,
I'll see.
awesome work.
Definitely. So yeah, we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, thank you so much, bro. This was fun.